Hello. Welcome, welcome. Woo! How is everybody doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Rochelle, Susan, Maureen, haven't seen you in a while. Hold on just a second. Excuse me. Hi, Ginger. Welcome, Amanda. Welcome, Fatima. Britt, I know you are here somewhere. I don't see your circle yet. Whew, how is everybody doing? Hi, Wendy. Hi, Britt. There you are. Awesome. Lovely, lovely. So, hey, Brianna. Yay. Glad to see you. So it's a fucking shit show out there, am I right? Who else is feeling that? Hi, Mare, nice to see you. Matthew, like seriously. And hi, Barb, glad to have you for the first time. Today, you know, I mean, I always do my best to be me and be myself, but I'm really feeling like letting it all hang out right now because I'm feeling like a shit show myself. So just if you're here for the first time, it's perfect timing. And yeah, I'm just kind of like, we'll see what what happens today. I just use this essential oil to ground and settle a bit. This one is called Aroma Sleep, so it's about that, but it's got like, I think, valerian and lavender and things for calming. So Matthew, you're here for the first time. Lane, awesome. Yeah, so I'm speaking about what I'm seeing as the eclipse energy. So any other astrology fans out there who follow that stuff? And I'm super woo and yeah. So hi, Nancy, glad to see you. But yeah, like I observe new moons, full moons, eclipses and things, like, but with kind of an interest that it's something kind of, oh, that's interesting, yeah, I know it affects us, but I'm not usually one to be like really intentional about putting a lot of energy or focus on those sorts of things, which the same for this solar eclipse in Libra that's happening. But then as like the past, I would say 12 hours, well, yeah, 12 to 18 hours, I'm like, okay, shit show. This feels like the eclipse is influencing all of these unfoldings and happenings for me. So hey, Alexa, only noticing the moon. So I think it started when I saw my ex-boyfriend last night walking on the beach with another woman. I mean, we've been apart for years, so I don't want him back, but it's just so weird because if you are new to me, I'm Natalie, spiritual life coach, Reiki master teacher, and intuitive. I live in Bali. I live I'm a nomad. I've lived overseas for 10 years, so I move around. And this boyfriend I had, we met almost 4 years ago, right before COVID, and we went to Thailand together. And he went back home to Indonesia because COVID, and that's the last time I've seen him. And then we broke up. I saw him last night walking at sunset when I do my sunset walk. Has anyone else ever had that experience of like just out of nowhere seeing an ex, happenstance, and just whatever, having that experience? And like I said, thank God it's not somebody I want back in any way, but still, it's just, you just can't make this shit up of like why I haven't been walking on the beach for like 5 or 6 days. I went yesterday. Why at that exact moment, this long stretch of beach in the most touristy part of Bali, did we happen to cross paths and notice each other? And and it was interesting because I know many of you were here for the live yesterday, like 24 hours ago. Who all was here for that when we talked about Michael Singer and surrender and diving deeply into his teachings? And I gave an invitation to you all to practice for the next 24 hours until we have this live, to come back now and in between then and now, to do your best to have it a priority and have it top of mind, to relax and release, to practice surrender in the form and the way that Michael Singer teaches. And I did that. I mean, I did it very messily, as a very messy human that I am, as somebody that's not a guru and not anywhere near any sort of enlightenment. But I did it when it came up, and I remembered thinking, okay, if I didn't have a preference about what was happening in this moment, how would I respond to the moment unfolding in front of me? Did anyone else bring this into their day after we talked about it? So I did that occasionally through the day. And then, I see him. And one other thing about it was, like, he stopped, like he wanted to engage and talk to me. I didn't want to have some awkward conversation when he's with some other girl and they're holding hands. They're obviously some sort of romance. And I didn't want to stop and talk to him. And, the old me, I would have stopped out of obligation and out of people pleasing, because, he stopped and it's the right thing to do because here's this person that is, that was in my life and now they're not. So I just was like, it was a surprise to see each other, and I was like, oh my God, hey, how are you? And I just kept going. I didn't pause a step. I was in my exercise walking. I had my headphones in. I had my music on anyway. And he stopped, like he wanted to stop and talk. And I just kept on going. And I noticed all of the emotions and the energy. It wasn't a ton, but there was definitely a response internally and inside where I had a response. And I noticed the mind wanting to come in with stories. Alexa talking about synchronicities, fantasies. Like, I noticed a part of the mind wanting to pick up threads of old energies, but that was like 5%. The rest of me was like, the 95% was, wow, look at this responsive energy. And then I noticed my mind wanting to have, like, make a conclusion about what this means. What am I going to make this mean? And then I just thought, it can mean nothing. It can mean I walked by a person I used to know. My mind is going to make it mean whatever it chooses and whatever I give attention and energy and power to. And so I just notice the energies. And as Singer says, I just relaxed and released. And this is what he talks about. We come out of the mind and into the heart. Ram Dass also as well. Out of the mind. The mind wants to make up a meaning. There's got to be some meaning. And yes, Singer also talks about this moment took 13.8 billion years to get here, and we can't know the mysteries about why it's here, and we get to be the observer of that and just honor and witness each and every moment. And we're not alive very long. We're alive for less than we're alive for a fraction of the tiniest second in the grand scheme of billions of years. So both and, the brevity of, wow, this moment, all of the processes and all of the, the unfoldings of the universe that have come to me being on this planet and being born and the sun rising and setting and me making choices and everyone around us, and I'm here in this moment, even here with you right now. It took 13.8 billion years to get here. It's not personal. It's the result of all of those forces that have nothing to do with me, the small self. And so I let this experience move through me and move through me. And, so I acknowledge my growth in that. Nancy, you had some emotions that you said you moved through in practicing the relax and release. Awesome. Hi, Laura. Nice. So that happened. And then some other things unfolded in my personal life where, for astrology buffs, the eclipse was at 21 degrees. And my sun is at 21 degrees. So definitely impacted me. Hi, Mishi. So that's what wants to come out right now. Our Saturday Night Live sessions, love them. They're so fun, and I just go with the flow on what's here. It's kind of a loosey-goosey, fun energy, and just showing up however we are. Hey, Tony. And just being together with a capital B. Yeah. So if anyone else has had any shit show experiences from the eclipse that you care to share. That even wasn't what the shit show was about, but it's just, I can't remember any time in my life where I've just randomly run across an ex in that way that you kind of, you hear that happening. Hey, Julia. So I was feeling like this energy, I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. Like things were encroaching in on me, that the world was happening to me, that things were coming in, that then I felt like it was too much. Can anyone relate to that? Oh, interesting, Alexa. Thanks for sharing that. Brianna, mental health decline right now. I feel that too in my own ways. And and Laura, tired, triggers, Ginger, too much. So it's just like an energy. It sounds like I'm not the only one. It's like too much, like bah. So what can you do to take care of yourself? For me, even just using this beautiful oil helps. I really grounded for our session today, which I do this every time, by the way, if you're new, or maybe if I haven't mentioned it. I always, I'm intentional about our spaces, that this is, a powerful, intentional space with you. Oops, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So I really made sure to take a moment to ground, bring in our spiritual teams, as I call them, mine and yours. I mean, everyone in the groups. And then I channeled Reiki and Silvana energies into the space for support. And also fun. Because when we feel this like shit show energy, I'm just going to keep calling it, it doesn't feel fun. So I think my absolute favorite mantra is, can I be okay that I'm not okay right now? And Eckhart Tolle says, the moment that we can be okay, that we can forgive ourselves that we're not at peace, then we can get to peace. Can you forgive yourself that you're not at peace? For real, not just saying it in your head, but a felt experience. I'm not at peace right now. Can I forgive myself for that? Can I be okay that I'm not okay? Or that a part of me feels like it's not okay? So if anyone's feeling that, thank you, Brianna, for the donation. I forgot to mention, please follow me if you are new and I haven't already maybe scared anyone away with my cussing or my shit show, because there's an energy too where I feel like I'm too much. Can anyone relate to that? Even my sister, I sent her all these texts yesterday, and then she didn't answer me. And she's like my most safe person, my soulmate person on this planet, like my sister Emily. And she didn't, and I mean, she will do that. She has 3 small children, like she's busy, but she didn't answer me after all my shit show messages. So then I feel like I'm too much. And then it turns to be a judgment on myself. I'm making myself wrong, which is a childhood pattern. Too much to what, Brianna? Amazing insight from your Zen teacher. So some of you can relate, Matthew, Ginger, Laura, Alexa. And yeah, thanks, Alexa, for that example. I want to make it about me. That I'm too much, that I'm too needy, that I'm too dramatic. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. And I've talked a lot and more recently about this idea about being a messy human, and I'm really feeling it right now in that. And if you can relate to any of this, because there's a part of my mind that judges me, is like, Natalie, you're just coming on here because you want attention, and you're just making this all about you. There's that voice. And it's just like, can't we just let up on that shit for a minute, please? I told you I'm just letting it all out, and I'm doing my best to trust this moment. Thank you. Clingy, Matthew, yes. Clingy, needy, graspy. That's what too much means for me. And I've had, I'm a spiritual life coach, and I've had a couple clients at times be like, I feel like I'm too much. And I can relate to that. Even my coach. So I just hired a new coach. I've gone into this really, high investment, high commitment 6-month coaching program with this amazing coach. And I'm like, well, how often can I leave you messages? Can I reach out? Because I'm very boundaried about that with my own clients, and it's really good and helpful. And he's like, oh no, just whatever. And I'm like, are you sure you want to open that door? Because I'm gonna, you might be sorry, you might regret that later. And then, but I haven't reached out very much. But in this whole shit show eclipse theme energy, it just felt like thing after thing after thing yesterday, and I sent him like a number of messages, and then but then it's like something else came up, and I was like, oh, I really want to get feedback from my coach on this. And they're like, oh no, you left too many messages already. Nope, too much. You don't want to be too much. You don't want to burden him. He's still on a cruise vacation. And then it's like, no, Natalie, like I get to let him tell me if I'm being too much with my communication, and I'm just going to trust that he will do that. And so I just said, I thank you and I'm sorry, and also I really want help on this right now. And he answered me. So thank you. Ginger, told you were too much. Well, that would make sense. People didn't know how to handle your fiery self. Yeah, I mean, it's such a shame, to be, and I love this is coming in. This is why I love our lives, because it all unfolds perfectly. Too much. It's a judgment on who we are. It's a judgment on our being. And it usually comes from childhood, and then it gets recreated in adulthood at times. But it's like it's always about the other person, and especially if it's a child being told by an older person, you're too much. That is everything is, and that is a reflection on whatever they were feeling in the moment, where they were feeling overwhelmed, probably about something else. Or maybe maybe the kid is acting out and the parent is just home after an 8-hour day and they're stressed, and then instead of regulating their own selves and being functional, they make the child wrong, and they want the child to tamp down on their energy. And then they make a judgment on that child in their essence. And that's really damaging, because it's shaming. Shaming means I am wrong. Not I've done something wrong. Guilt is I've done something wrong. Shame is I am wrong. Awesome, Alexa. I didn't know you were in 12-step. Any other? I'm a member as well. Any other friends of Bill or friends of who is it? Ricky or Chris? Rick or Chris? Woo-hoo! I know we've got a handful of us here. So yeah. Oh, Pest, Brianna. Yeah. It reminds me, who all read the Ramona books? Ramona Quimby. I love those books. Britt, Brianna, Laura, you didn't share your feelings, so sharing them now. So especially if, like with family of origin, if we were told we were too much and then we learn to contract, and then we grow up, and then we want to express and be normal, human beings. If our families are used to us holding back and then we don't, that's like they don't like that. It's threatening and uncomfortable. They want us to show up how we always have, and when we don't, it's threatening. So I brought some little tools over because I grabbed my beautiful Bali power necklace, grabbed my pendulum, grabbed this crystal, in this beautiful singing bowl. This is a really amazing bowl, and it's travel sized, which is good for me. But it's 7 metals. It's from Kathmandu. I bought it there, and it's so cool because I bought it with my last Nepal currency, whatever I think it's a rupee. I bought it with the rest of my Nepal currency before leaving and going back to India. And it's got these carvings, and I think it's Om Mani Padme Hum. I could be wrong, I forgot now. But yeah, so, and then when they make these bowls, every time you ring it, because when they make them, they're chanting Om. So when you ring the bowl, it releases the energy of those Oms. So these are some things, we can do to ground and center when the storm is happening. It scares some people, Ginger, when you're direct and honest. Yeah, people feel threatened. Hey, hi, Jay. Whew, whew. So one of my favorite practices for anxiety, if anybody's, I know at least one person here who's mentioned anxiety, because I just got off the phone with them and they are here in the live stream. And I know others of you as well, but one of my favorite practices to bring down any sort of dysregulation with breathing is you breathe in, and then when you breathe out through pursed lips as slow as you can. Just as slow as you can let that breath out. And what that does is it helps downshift, your nervous system, as well as brings you fully and totally present. So some ways to deal with any eclipse or whatever energies, you can put that practice in your toolbox. I've also got this beautiful pendulum that was gifted to me when I got my Reiki master attunement from my master in Thailand. And it's orgonite with this beautiful sacred geometry and this shell with the Hamsa symbol inside. Okay, I'm going to hold on a second. So, just plugging this in. There we go. All right. Hey, Elizabeth. Haven't seen you in a little while. So let's just pause. Downshift. I'm picturing a car downshifting into a lower gear. And when you downshift, it's like forcing the engine to slow down. And it when you first do it, it's like it fights back. And then it starts to regulate itself. I feel like that's what we're doing here, and that's what we get to do, that there's like this energy and we get to downshift that. And as we do that, there might be like this period of transition where we settle down deeper and deeper into the present moment. So that's what's happening. Yeah, so we'll take a pause here. We're about halfway through. So if you haven't given me a follow here on Insight Timer, please do so on my road to 3,000 followers, which is almost here. Please give a donation here through the app if you appreciate this space and feel called to. Hi, Sang. Haven't seen you in a little while, too. Thanks for saying hi and giving your comment. Beautiful thought. And this is why I like the messy human idea, because it brings in the whole picture of what it means to be human. And I know just intrinsically for myself and my own journey and where I'm at, that like really being able to fully internally embrace my messiness is the path. That is the journey, because what that means is self-acceptance, self-love, and self-forgiveness. The theme of this eclipse, I think for me, with it being 21 degrees, my sun 21 degrees, the self-forgiveness and the self-judgment piece is the deepest place where healing gets to occur, because I judge the shit out of myself every second of the day. And even just in the past 2 days, I've really felt the burden of that in the how like painful, like the consequences of that, the actual pain, like how much I suffer from that self-judgment. And I don't want it anymore. And I know like I get to accept it and love it in order to help it move through. But there's just, I think this time has put an illumination on, if I really want this self-realization path and this awakening path and this the evolution and expansion of my soul and this journey on this plane and this body and this incarnation of Natalie, that like I think the biggest place to actualize for me, and I think a lot of us, is learning to forgive myself and letting go of all of the self-judgments that are just there all the time. So awareness is the first step to change, as we know. Can anyone relate to that? Thank you, Bridget, for the donation. Thank you for joining. So I'm going to draw a couple cards and see what other messages want to come through, and then we're going to get into the Reiki, the ancestral clearing. It's already happening, and also it will, we'll do a more intentional channeling of the Reiki when we get into that space in a few minutes after I see what the cards have to say. So this is the Osho Zen Tarot. This is a collective reading for everyone who's here. It's not, I don't draw cards for individuals in this space. So just trust that the message is for you. Have open ears, open mind, open heart, and take what you like and leave the rest, as we say in AA. So, comparison. What does this make y'all think of? Where are you comparing? And, even in the part about self-judgment, there's a comparison there, because there's a judgment against me. I'm judging myself against something or about something. There's some sort of relational thing that I'm comparing myself about. Brianna can relate. and whoever wants to share, if they want to share what they're comparing about. But what this reminds me of is another 12-step thing, that saying that we say, comparing our insides to the other person's outsides. Comparing our insides to the other person's outsides. So all this shit show energy that I feel inside, then I look at somebody else wherever, out in the world, social media, or just anyone, and I'm looking at my perception of them like, oh, maybe they look put together, or their life is like, looks like this, and I'm comparing my inner shit show with their outer whatever they're showing. And everyone's got an internal, stuff to work on. The two powers at war. So Matthew compares what you do daily with other more successful people. Right, so that would be a perfect example. You're judging whatever it is you're doing is not enough, and then you're looking to the outside and imagining what these successful people may do, or maybe you even know what they do if it's somebody that's written a book about it. Maybe it's something like that. Thank you, Rochelle, for the donation. Thank you so much. So, and then the other part of this message is, this is a bamboo tree and like an oak tree or something. These, yes, they are both like plants, but they're not the same species. They're not the same. So we can look at like what's unique and beautiful and what strengths, bamboo has versus the same with this tree, and what weaknesses, This bamboo is going to have strengths and weaknesses that are different from this oak tree, but it doesn't mean one is better or worse than the other. So let's see what Lightseers Tarot has for clarification, more information. Is this helpful so far? Good. Because although, the shit show, messy human part of me, says that it's like making it all about me and I'm just wanting attention or whatever, look at the judgments. But my higher self and my bigger self knows I'm here. It's a both and. I enjoy it and I want it to be helpful and be of service and make a difference for you. And that's true. That's the truth. It's like we have this inner gaslighter. How many of you have an inner gaslighter? So the thing is, we can't be at war with that, and that's what I fall into. I don't like it. I don't want it. When I'm not connected, when I'm not grounded, when I'm not expansive, then there's this inner gaslighter, and then I just buy into all of it. And then I'm like, but I hate that part, and I don't want to judge myself anymore, and I need to forgive and love myself, and compassion and metta, and then I don't do it. And then I make that part wrong. I mean, this whole thing is a mess. So, but me making it wrong keeps it stuck. It's like Abraham Hicks says, we have a war against this and this and this and that. Having a war against something keeps the thing intact and growing. We can't have a war against something and expect it to change. We've got to stop the war within. So it's not about making the mind, making the ego, making the inner critic, the gaslighter, the parents, the whatever from childhood, making that all wrong and bad. It's about, okay, it served a purpose to help us survive. We need a voice within to tell us, like, don't cross the street right now, keep the body safe. It's just doing its job. It's okay. So, but I notice my default is I want to be at war with that part. So the practice is first seeing the awareness, yes, waking up to what's happening, and then being like, okay, I'm seeing all this. Whew, it's okay. I recognize you're just trying to help. You're just old conditioning and patterns. My power is in what power I give to that. And it's a journey. I remember when I first started becoming mindful of my thoughts. Does anyone remember that happening for them? And I mean, there must have been a time in my life where I just was 100% believing every thought that I thought and thinking that that is just me. But at some point, I started waking up to being like, oh, there's this constant stream. It's always thinking. But I'm the awareness that can witness that stream. And now I know that that awareness is always available. Sometimes I'm mentally lazy and I don't stay in that. But I've come so far from being able to be the witness and the observer of my thoughts. So why wouldn't this be the same? Why wouldn't this awakening to making the mind and the ego and the conditioning and the self-hatred and whatever patterns wrong? Of course this will be the same. And it's not like, so Ginger remembers a moment. Some people have an instant moment where they're never the same. And then sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. In AA, we talk about the spiritual experience. Bill Wilson, he had an intense, enlightening, awakening moment. He never drank again. He wasn't the same person after that moment. Then there was this idea in AA that everyone had to have a moment like that or they wouldn't be able to stay sober. So they added a part in the AA literature in the back of the big book, the Alcoholics Anonymous book, where they're like, hey, wait a minute. You don't have to have this lightning bolt moment to stay sober. You can have a gradual awakening that's just as effective. So this is the same here. Some people might have moments, some people might have a gradual awakening, or a mixture of both. Hey, Patriot Lady. Gary relates to the gaslighter. Yeah, 4-step inventory, reparenting. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, so it's a journey. So this is a messy journey. This is the messy journey. Yeah, and Eckhart, Laura, he was kind of the instrument. His teachings were, I think that's where it started for me, although I can't quite recall. Awesome, Ginger, that you had a practice driving to work. And yeah, again, can we just allow this to be a messy process? Hey, Allison. Ooh, gradual and then a rock bottom. So let's see. Woo! Let that shit go, baby. We've gotten this card quite a bit. So, like, in answer to everything we're talking about, and also to clarify this, look at the different energies here. Like, this is so bogged down and bleh. It's like, and look, and what's cool too, this is the Page of Wands. So this is a wand, which usually, they're wooden. So it could even be looked at like, this is what I'm picking up on for this, that these energies are representing this, and it's just like, throw that shit up, throw it out. You use all this to create a breakthrough. It's like we let all this overpower us. I mean, you can hear that's what I'm kind of saying right now, and not all the time. But not letting this just dominate us. Actually, we can hold this wand, and we have everything we need inside of us to let that shit go. And it's not about throwing it away like out of judgment and bad and wrong. It's like a celebration, like a playfulness, a lightness. So how can you bring this energy more into your body and into your life? You know, I'm going to make a commitment with you guys right now about how I'm going to do this, because I've thought about it, but anyway, I haven't been. Y'all know that I like to go dancing on the beach Sunday nights at sunset, and I just don't feel like doing it. It might be my energy. It might just be like I like to walk. I'm liking that better than dancing. But I feel like what this card for me personally, because this is for me too, I'm just receiving it with you, is that I get to go dancing tonight for sunset on the beach. Like that's such a horrible thing. Oh, poor you. You have to go dancing on the beach in Bali at sunset tonight. I can see the critic, the gaslighter, wanting to be like, around that. It's okay. Can I love myself? So the parent gets to come in and be like, yes, sweetie. Yes, isn't that interesting and funny? Thanks. You know, actually, Patriot lady, wish you could dance on the beach. Yesterday when I was walking, there was a man with no bottom half of his body, and he was not in a wheelchair. He was going around on his hands, and that was really difficult to see. And of course it made me think, I don't have any problems compared to him. And yeah, and also that's still the inner gaslighter that does that. And when my clients say that kind of a thing, I always challenge it, because just because there's other things happening in the world and other people having worse problems than us, it's not helpful for us to use that frame to try and help ourselves mentally manage our problems. It's just not helpful. So I saw that pattern, and you know, then there's the self-forgiveness piece. So thank you, Maureen, for your comment. So yeah, we have the option to put our baggage down. It is tough in that moment where you feel just that block or that wall or that can't go any further. Like even when I think about the guy on the beach right now, and I think, yeah, I know I shouldn't gaslight myself that I don't have problems compared to him, but yet underneath that it's still there. So this is where the beautiful, can I be okay that I'm not okay? Can I forgive myself for judging myself? Can I forgive myself for not being at peace? Yeah, it's so familiar. It's so familiar. So this is why comfort zone and out of the comfort zone. So Thanks, Allison. So let's go ahead and get into the Reiki and energy healing part of the session. I'll bring in some ancestral clearing at the end. So don't forget to follow me, give a donation if you care to, and if you haven't already, would really appreciate that. Yeah, right. And let's just dive deeper and let that shit go. I feel like that's the, I was feeling like shit show eclipse energy, and then the solution is let that shit go. Everyone drink a lot of water. I'm feeling that. Drink a lot of water, ground. Dancing on the beach, pretty grounding. I don't know what it is for you, but do something. So I'm going to ring this beautiful singing bowl. And as I do this, thank you. Please use this moment to transition, to come into closed eyes, unplug from devices other than listening to my voice. And we'll go deeper. Breathe. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Let that shit go. Relax and release would be a more, quote, spiritual way to say it. And Michael Singer way to say it. Relax and release. Let that shit go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go. Let go of the worries, let go of the struggle. Release the fear. Release the self-sufficiency. Some of you are doing everything alone, all by yourself, and you're too self-resourced. Some of you need to get to, you get to ask for help and trust that you are not too much. Relax the struggle, relax the strife, relax the efforting. Just be. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. In this moment, here and now. You don't have to perform, you don't have to wear a mask, you don't have to be liked, you don't have to be accepted by anybody but yourself. I want you to hold space for yourself, as big of a shit show as you are, or as little. And a nicer way to say that would be to be a messy human. Allow yourself just to be a messy human, holding space and embracing all parts. Ultimately, it's the little child within that feels abandoned, unloved, unlovable, who feels they don't belong, they don't fit in, they're not worthy, they're not enough. So you get to be the person that you've been waiting for. No one else is going to save you but you. No one else can parent that little child within but you. So show up to them right now. And I'd like you to just visualize your inner child and observe, what are they doing? Where are they? Are they hiding under the covers? Are they out playing outside, climbing trees? Whatever. Are they throwing toys across the room? So when you see that child in whatever they're doing or not doing, saying or not saying, see the innocence. They are innocent, and so are you. You are the same level of innocence as a baby 1 minute old, as that 5-year-old you, 8-year-old you. See yourself in your innocence then. And feel that spark of compassion in your heart. They're just doing their best. If they're feeling and on top of the world, or if they're coloring on the walls, just feel the loving compassion and understanding that's there. And they're just a dear little messy human being doing their very best in the world. And feel that for that child. And feel that for yourself right now. So whatever part of you that feels overwhelmed, anxious, afraid, in a shitstorm, in fear and tantrum and hating the self, hating yourself, shame, loathing. So whatever it is, if you're not okay, it's that part of you inside. It's just showing you that there's an aspect ready for healing right now. This is all a messenger carrying a message of something that's ready for healing right now. And how do you heal it? By being with it, without judgment, with softness, compassion, and just reparenting these pieces and parts, these core wounds. You may want to put your hand on your heart. It's okay. It's safe to let go. It's okay to let go. Just let go. You're not alone. You're not doing this alone. You don't have to do this alone. We're here together. And speak to your child in that way. Let them know they're not alone. And you may even want to tell them that it's not their fault. Sweetie, it's not your fault. It's okay. And tell your inner child whatever they want to hear. Tell them how amazing and lovable and capable and beautiful and worthy they are, just because they are. You are a piece of God in form. You are perfect divinity in a messy human experience. And you are enough, and you are worthy, and you are lovable and deserving. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. You are not wrong. You are not bad. Breathing in deeply into the heart. Just being with whatever is unconditionally here. Surrendering, relaxing, and releasing to whatever is here right now. Becoming fully present. Noticing and witnessing. And it's time to come out of this beautiful time with our inner child. So you can give them a message, you can say, see you later, whatever you need to do, you can intuit that. And be mindful of how they want to part. They might just want to wave goodbye, or they might want a big kiss and a hug. Go with their, honor their preference. And there's no wrong or right. Just maybe they just want to run off and play, and they want to get back to what they were doing, or drawing on the walls, or whatever it is. Or maybe they want a nice hug, kiss on the top of the head, or whatever it is, you will know. And you can just tell them, I'll see you soon. I'm always here whenever you need. Breathe in deeply. Let it go. And I'm going to close with an ancestral clearing prayer. So if you choose to receive this, just have the intention to receive. Infinite Creator, source of all that is, we love you. Thank you for loving us. We humbly ask that you open, bless, expand, lead, guide, and direct us into your perfect light, love, and life, and always completely, now and forever, please and thank you. For everyone hearing this right now, all of our family members, all of our relationships, all of our ancestors, and all of their relationships, through all relevant time, space, and dimension. For all hurts, wrongs, judgments, and burdens, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and financial, through thought, word, or deed. For all times we were abandoned, rejected, minimized, diminished, let down, misunderstood, blamed, shamed, bullied, abused, accused, made wrong. Times we were told we were too much. Times we were shamed for making innocent mistakes or mistakes of any kind. Anytime we were betrayed, bullied, confused, anytime we didn't feel safe. Please help us all forgive each other, forgive ourselves, forgive all people, and all people forgive us. Completely and totally, please and thank you. Please help us love and bless each other, love and bless ourselves, be at peace with each other and at peace with ourselves. Please and thank you, please and thank you, please and thank you. Okay. If you choose to come back to a wakeful state, just gently, slowly, easily allow the eyes to open. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll ring the bell. So we're going to wrap up today. And again, if you enjoyed this, give a donation and don't forget to follow me here. So glad to have you all for this powerful eclipse shit show version of our live stream today. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being. And let's all bring the same level of compassion and understanding to ourselves that we give to others, including and especially our little inner child, because we are that, still that child. There's that part within. So if there was anything in you that felt like you could identify with my messy humanness, and you felt warmth or love or compassion or understanding for me, please, the invitation is for you to flip that to yourself. And it's a great start. And I do this with my coaching clients sometimes, of like, if I was telling you this story, how would you feel hearing me? And every time they'll say, oh, I would just feel so much like compassion and understanding for you. And I'm like, okay, so if you can feel that for me in this moment, can you translate any part of that back to yourself? So thank you, Patriot Lady, for the donation. Barb, thank you. Allison, Nancy. I'm glad it was beautiful. So you saw my 8-year-old child climbing the tree. Yeah, I mean, I just go with what's here, and that's what came. So I trust that it was for us all. And I know I've showed you my pick before, so I'll close the session with this. It's 10:10, by the way, here. This is my lock screen. I really challenge you, encourage you to make your inner child pick your lock screen. And I know some of you have. This is such a powerful practice. Because I mean, we're on our phone all the fucking time, right? I mean, well, if you're anything like me, and a lot of us, it's like then it's just you can just connect. And I mean, I love that I have this picture. I feel like it's the best inner child picture to have. Like, I'm just looking straight at the screen with like pure innocence and openness, and so I feel blessed that I have this to connect with her. But whatever you have, it's perfect. Oh, you have one on Zoom, and good, you'll do a lock screen. Glad it's powerful. Britt, thank you. Nancy, Maureen, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. Britt, Jay, you're welcome. Yeah, Libra. Jay, do you have Libra in your chart? Yeah, I mean, this girl didn't do anything wrong. She's not bad, she's not wrong. So, ooh, interesting, Allison. Thank you, Dawn. Good to see you again. Glad it was inspiring. Thank you. I'm so lucky. I swear, in like 2006 or 7, I got I bought a thing, like it was $100, and it was a slide and photo converter to digital. And I literally took, 100 hours or hundreds of hours, and I went through, and you had to individually scan each photo, and I did the slides, the old time slides from my mom and grandmother and my ex-husband and their slides. So I have all of this digitized, and that's why I have such an amazing rendition of this pic. And I'm so grateful to past Natalie, who took that a lot of effort to do that. So see you all very soon for the next live stream, which will be on astrology. How appropriate timing. So this will be in about 48 hours. Yeah, we're just gonna we'll see who joins as far as like what level of conversation we'll have, but it'll be fun for all involved. If you're an expert, I'm no expert, so please come and bring your expertise. If you're a brand new person to astrology and only know that you're a whatever Pisces and that's all that's fine too. But if you do want to join and you do know your birth time and you haven't done this already, look up your birth chart on astro.com, and you'll need your birth time and place and date. And if you want help about that, you can send me a message. But that will help a lot. Yeah, I love astrology. I believe in it. You just can't make this shit up, is my sense. And even, so I'm going to go now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love and blessings. Namaste.